Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Today I am going to paint my nails in Smith & Colt's Love Lost Lust while I read interesting articles about the royal family. So let's begin. The first one is from Vogue, October 7th, 2020, and the article is How 5 Royal Romances Began. At this point, it's a truth universally acknowledged that the royal love stories are often no fairy tales. Princess Margaret and Lord Snowdon had a contentious marriage that ended in the Windsor family's first divorce. Princess Diana and Prince Charles' union was still rocking. Meanwhile, it's to be a plot point in the latest season of The Crown. While the Duke and Duchess of Sussex's happily ever ended up being far away from their kingdom. Yet there's still an utter fascination about how, exactly, royal couples first meet and fall in love. How does one catch and keep the eye of real-life Prince and Princess Charmings? Below, how the courtship of 5 royal couples, from Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip to Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, began. First, we have Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip. In July 1939, a 13-year-old Princess Elizabeth accompanied her parents on a visit to Dartmouth, Virginia Royal Naval College. It's there she met 18-year-old Philip Mountbatten, a cadet tasked with entertaining the princess and her sister, Margaret, throughout the weekend. They played games on the campus's tennis courts and dined upon the royal yacht. The Queen was instantly besotted, and from that day on didn't take any other suitors seriously at all. Philip's uncle, Louis Mountbatten, described the fateful meeting to Prince Charles decades later in a letter. Mummy never seriously thought of anyone else after the Dartmouth encounters, he wrote to his grandnephew. 8 years and a war, they married at Westminster Abbey. This November, they celebrate their 73rd wedding anniversary. Next couple is Princess Margaret and Anthony Armstrong-Jones. Princess Margaret met Anthony Armstrong-Jones, Lord Snowdon, at a dinner party in 1958 with her lady-in-waiting Elizabeth Cavendish, 3 years after she called off her relationship with divorcee Peter Townsend. There's no doubt they knew each other before that evening. Photographer Armstrong-Jones started taking pictures of the royal family in 1957, and well, Margaret was a world-famous celebrity. Months later, Margaret sat for a portrait with Armstrong-Jones herself. In the 2008 biography, Snowdon, author Anne de Courcy described the session as thus: Tony took charge of the sitting in his usual way. With the utmost politeness, he made her change her clothes, her jewelry, and her pose as if she were any other sitter, at the same time chatting away with his mixture of jokes, gossip about mutual friends, and stories of the theatrical luminaries he had photographed. Margaret, accustomed to unquestioning deference, had never met anyone like him. Soon, a love affair began, and by 1960, they had announced their engagement. Next, Prince Charles and Princess Diana. Prince Charles first saw a 16-year-old Lady Diana in 1977 at the Spencer family estate in Althorpe. He recalled what fun she was in their public engagement interview with the press years later. Although upon their first meeting, he wasn't actually there to see her. Instead, he was busy pursuing her sister Sarah. They would eventually break up, allegedly because Sarah spoke to the press about their relationship, but Diana stayed in his circle. In 1980, their relationship began to blossom. They went on a country weekend with friends where she watched him play polo, took a sailing trip to Cowes, and even received a rare invitation to the Queen's Scottish Highlands estate of Balmoral. Upon their engagement in 1981, Sarah Spencer told the media, I introduced them. I am Cupid. Next, Prince William and Kate Middleton. Although Prince William and Kate Middleton ran in the same social circles for years before meeting, their love story really and truly began at the University of St. Andrews in Scotland. During freshman year, they lived in the same dorm as St. Salvator's Hall and both studied art history. For a time, they were good friends, according to historian Robert Lacey's book Battle of Brothers. Middleton even came to his rescue at a party. After noticing the prince was the recipient of unwanted attention from a fellow female student, she came over and put her arms around him. "Oh, sorry, but I've got a girlfriend," he lied to his pushy pursuer before thanking Middleton for her help. Things began to heat up in 2002, when Middleton famously walked in a charity fashion show in a see-through dress. "Kate's hot," William is said to have whispered to a friend. However, at the time, Middleton was still dating someone else. In sophomore year, they lived in the same off-campus house, and that's where the two really fell in love. They'd stay in item throughout their university, and despite a short breakup in 2007, got engaged in 2010. Next, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. In July 2016, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle went on a blind first date at the Dean Street townhouse in London. Who set them up is still a matter of debate. Some rumors suggest Ralph Lauren, public relations director Viola Devon Westenholz. Others point to designer Misha Nunu. Whomever it was, however, was spot on. I was beautifully surprised when I walked into that room and saw her, Harry later admitted to the BBC. A few weeks later, they jetted off to Botswana so they could get to know each other away from the prying eyes. "It was absolutely fantastic," said Henry. There, they fell in love, and come November 2017, their engagement became public. That was the first article. The second article I'm going to read to you is from Yahoo Life, and this is from October 5th, 2020. And it's the 14 royal baby rules Princess Eugenie has to follow. Princess Eugenie and Jack Brooksbank are only a few months away from welcoming their first child into the world. But this is no normal first-time parent situation, thanks to Eugenie's royal heritage. They might not be frontline working royals, but Eugenie and Jack may still be subject to a series of rules and traditions harking back years, such as, number 1, the pregnancy is announced after 12 weeks. This royal tradition is in keeping with most expectant parents, who tend to announce their happy news once the risk of miscarriage has reduced at least 12 weeks, the end of the first trimester. While we don't know Eugenie's exact due date, we do know that it's sometime in early 2021, meaning the announcement she and Jack made about their baby a couple of weeks back was definitely after the 12-week mark of her pregnancy. One expectation to this rule was Kate Middleton, however, who announced her third pregnancy with Prince Louis near the 8-week mark. This was because she was suffering from intense morning sickness and had to withdraw from public engagements because of it. To avoid inevitable questions about Kate's health, the palace made the decision to announce the Cambridge's third pregnancy on September 4th, 2017. Rule number 2. The gender is kept secret. Prince Eugenie and Jack Brooksbank haven't shared any details about the gender of their unborn child. Generally, it's thought that royal parents don't find out. Prince William and Kate Middleton are believed to have forgotten this information with each one of their 3 children. However, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry broke this tradition when they were expecting baby Archie. Despite telling crowds on an official visit to Birkenhead in early 2019 that they weren't finding out the sex of their baby because they wanted it to be a surprise, it later emerged in an unauthorized biography written about the couple, Finding Freedom, that they did in fact know that they were having a baby boy. Harry and Meghan already had a name ready to go when Archie was born, because the couple had known all along that they were having a baby boy. According to a source, they settled on their son's name sometime during the final week of her pregnancy, wrote author Ahmed Scobie and Caroline Durand. But whether Eugenie and Jack do or don't know their baby's sex, one thing is for sure. It's royal tradition to keep it under wraps publicly. There hasn't yet been a royal baby whose gender has been announced prior to its birth, and it's likely to stay that way. Number 3. Royal mothers don't usually have a baby shower. Baby showers are a typically American tradition, which means the British royal family hasn't historically celebrated them. According to ABC News royal expert Victoria Arbiter, the tradition is frowned upon within the royal family. They have added pressure that they're clearly very wealthy, and a lavish baby shower would be seen as highly inappropriate, she said. Despite this, Meghan Markle had a baby shower with close friends in New York in February of 2019. So perhaps Princess Eugenie will opt out to do something similar. Number 4. The baby is born in a hospital. It used to be a tradition that royal mothers gave birth at home, but Princess Diana was the first to break this after insisting she give birth to Prince William and Prince Harry in a hospital where it was deemed safer at the time. Diana gave birth in the Lindo wing of St. Mary's Hospital in Paddington, which is where Kate Middleton went on to have all 3 of her children. It's currently unknown where Eugenie will give birth, however. Speculation suggests it may well be at the Portland Hospital in central London, where Sarah Ferguson delivered both Beatrice and Eugenie. It's the same place we later discovered Meghan Markle had baby Archie. Number 5. The baby is delivered by the royal gynecologist. Because a royal family is no average family, it has its own official gynecologist who delivers all royal babies. The current surgeon gynecologist is Alan Farthing, while the royal's consultant obstetrician is Guy Thorpe Beeston. Both Farthing and Beeston helped deliver Prince Louis in April 2018, as well as Princess Charlotte and Prince George before that. In addition to the doctors, a team of midwives are also present during the labor and are reportedly sworn to secrecy about the details of the birth. If Princess Eugenie opts to have her baby at the Portland or anywhere else, it remains to be seen whether the royal gynecologist will play a part in her labor. Number 6. The Queen is the first to know of the birth. Outside of the delivery room itself, it's tradition for the Queen to be the first person to hear news of a royal baby's arrival, which makes sense, really, seeing as she's the head of the family. Number 7. The birth announcement is displayed on an easel outside of Buckingham Palace. Although technically now means the royal family can announce news of a birth via social media and emailed press releases, the original tradition of a notice on an easel placed outside of Buckingham Palace still stands. The note was previously handwritten in times gone by, although nowadays it's typed up, and it details the baby's gender at the time of birth, as well as confirmation that both mother and child are doing well. The notice is signed by doctors at the hospital before being safely delivered to the palace by car. Number 8. The new parents pose for pictures with their babies. Well, they do if they're some of the highest ranking royals anyway. The nation and the rest of the world is so obsessed with royal baby, so it's seen as only fair to give us a glimpse of the newborn once mother and baby are deemed well enough to stand up or go outside. Following births at the Lindo wing, it's become something of a rite of passage for the parents to pose on the steps outside of the hospital's wards door with their new bundle of joy. Meghan and Harry broke that tradition when Archie was born, however, opting instead to present him at a photo call in Windsor Castle's few days after his birth. Being a less senior and non-working royal, Princess Eugenia may also do her own thing and opt to share the first photograph of her baby on her Instagram account, just as she did with her pregnancy news. Number 9. The baby is wrapped in a sentimental blanket for its first appearance. For their world debut, royal babies are traditionally wrapped in a blanket made by Nottingham-based knitwear company G.H. Hurton and Sons. The tradition hails from the Queen's decision to wrap a baby Prince Charles in a G.H. Hurton and Sons blanket following his birth back in 1948. Years later, when Princess Diana went on to have Prince William and Prince Harry, she followed in the footsteps of her mother-in-law, as did Prince William and Kate Middleton with their 3 children. Princess Eugenie may not have to follow the rules, especially if she doesn't do an in-person debut for the world's media with her newborn, but she might decide it's a sweet gesture to continue the family tradition in a photo instead. Number 10. The baby is named something typically royal. Royals like to keep it in the family, and this generally means recycling names. Case in point, William and Kate named their 3rd son Louis, one of their first son George's middle name. Meghan and Harry went with something a little different when they chose Archie Harrison. Get it? Harry's son. And again, the world is Eugenie and Jack's oyster when it comes to picking a name for their little one. Let's be real though, it's probably going to be fancy. So if you want some inspo, Eugenie, take a look at these popular royal names that haven't been used in a while. And they have a link. Number 11. The baby has 3 or 4 names. Having a first name and 1 middle name, that's not enough. Members of the royal family usually get at least 3 names, 4 if they're lucky, though not Archie, who was given just 1 middle name. The most recent multiple name addition to the royal family includes George Alexander Louis, Charlotte Elizabeth Diana, and Louis Arthur Charles, while Queen Elizabeth herself has a middle name Alexandra Mary. So how many will Prince Eugenie and Jack Brooksbank choose for their unborn baby? And what will it be? Number 12. The name isn't announced for a few days. Once the baby is born and we're all treated to pictures of it in some shape or form, it's tradition that the palace goes a little quiet for a couple of days until the baby's name is released. This is thought to be so that firstly, the parents can come up with a name, and secondly, so that the Queen can be informed of it before anyone else. With Prince George, Prince Charlotte, and Archie, we had to wait 2 days before finding out their respective names, but with Prince Louis, it took a little longer than that. The baby prince was born on April 23rd, but his name wasn't announced until April 27th, a whole 3 days later. The surprise. Number 13. The baby wears a special christening gown. Like many families, the royals have passed down a christening robe for a new addition to wear as they get baptized. If they follow tradition, Eugenie and Jack's baby would be christened in the same royal gown its second cousin George, Charlotte, and Louis wore, a replica of an original robe made in 1841 for Queen Victoria's eldest daughter. Number 14. Multiple godparents are chosen. While many people are given 1 godmother and 1 godfather, or maybe 2 of each at a push, the royals are, of course, different. Prince George has 7 godparents, while Prince Louis has 6 and Princess Charlotte has 5. The chosen godparents are a mix of both parents as friends and cousins, with no immediate family members having historically been picked. But we do know that Eugenie and her husband have a particular close friendship with Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, so maybe they could be in with a shot to be godparents to baby Brooksbank. That's really cute. It's really interesting how many traditions they have. But let's look at the popular royal baby names, or at least some of them, that they might choose. How about that? Royal boys' names in alphabetical order: Adrian, Alfred, Arthur, Augustus, Charles, let's see, Edgar, Edmund, Edward, Ernst, Frederick, Geoffrey, Harold, Henry, Humphreys, Jasper, John, Leopold, Lionel. Yeah, I haven't heard Leopold. I can't imagine when the last time was someone was named Leopold. Nicholas, Philip, Richard, Robert, Rupert, Stephen, Thomas, Victor, and William. And then royal girls' names in alphabetical order: Adela, Adelaide, Agatha, Alice, Amelia, Anne, Augusta, Beatrice, Blanche, Carolina, Catherine, Cecil, Charlotte, Clementina, Dorothea, Edith, Eleanor, Elizabeth, Emma, Eugenie, Frances, Helen, Isabella, Joan, Judith, Louisa, Margaret, Matilda, Maud, Philippa, Sarah, Sophia, and Victoria. Yeah, there's quite a few that I don't think I've heard anyone having that name, except maybe in like a history book or something. Now, speaking of royal babies, I have another article. Prince George receives a very special gift while meeting Sir David Attenborough. This was from September 27th, 2020, from people.com. Prince George's one lucky boy. Prince William and Kate Middleton's 6-year-old son received a very special gift earlier this week while meeting Sir David Attenborough, one of his favorite celebrities. When they met, Sir David gave Prince George a tooth from a giant shark, the scientific name of which is Carcharodontus, Megalodon, big tooth. Kensington Palace wrote on social media alongside 2 adorable photos from the exciting day. Adding an extra sentimental layer to the gift, the fossil had been Attenborough's possession for decades. Sir David found the tooth on a family holiday in Malta in the late 1960s, embedded in the island's soft yellow limestone, which was laid down during the Miocene period some 23 million years ago, the palace wrote. Big Tooth is believed to have grown to 15 meters in length, which is about twice the length of a great white, the largest shark alive today. Earlier this week, Attenborough visited Kensington Palace, attending an outdoor screening of this upcoming feature film, A Life on the Planet, with Prince William. Afterward, the entire family got a chance to spend time with the esteemed conservation advocate. In one adorable photo from the big day, George smiles while holding onto the fossilized shark tooth as his sister, Princess Charlotte V, excitedly looks at Attenborough. In a second family photo, George can also be seen examining the shark tooth while sharing a private moment with his father and young brother, Prince Louis, too. Earlier this year, Kate revealed that out of all of the celebrities she's ever met over the years, Attenborough has a special place in her heart, as well as George's. During a video chat in April with children of essential workers, the royal mom was about who her favorite celebrities were, and Kate shared that her son's recent interest influenced her answer. The kids also asked them what the best famous person was that they had ever met, something I bet they don't get asked very often, said Anita Guidotti, chief executive of the Petal Trust, Hello Magazine reported. The Duchess said that George had been watching a lot of David Attenborough, Blue Planet, and the like, so that would probably be hers. In a new clip from William's upcoming documentary, Prince William, A Planet for All of Us, Kate noted that all of her children are also massive fans of Attenborough's. The children were very upset that we were coming to see you and they weren't coming, she said, while speaking with the broadcaster. They are massive fans. That's so cute. Really quickly, I have another really short article, and this is from the Oprah magazine, 20 fascinating facts about the royal family. which you may or you may not know. So here's number 1. Princess Diana was once a teacher. Royals are not supposed to sign autographs. Interesting. The long-standing rule is in place to prevent foreigners from using any family member's signatures. I can see that. There's a practical reason Queen Elizabeth wears bold colors. Her Majesty's affinity for wearing bright coats and dresses isn't just about her personal style. It is also to ensure her loyal followers never miss her in a crowd. Queen Elizabeth II often travels with a personal supply of blood. Yes, you read that right. According to the Telegraph's chief reporter Gordon Rainier, Her Majesty never leaves the country without bringing a Royal Navy doctor with her. And if the monarch and her health advisor think a destination she's visiting has questionable blood supply, well, she brings her own. Garlic is off limits on any royal menu. The Queen would never have garlic on the menu. She hates the smell of it and she hates the taste of it. Princess Charlotte's financial impact outweighs Princess George. In fact, the royal family is worth $88 billion, according to Forbes, a figure calculated to include their assets. And while 5-year-old Prince George is the third in line for the throne, it's Charlotte who's really racking in the cash for the monarchs. As Reader's Digest reports, the 3-year-old princess is responsible for fueling the economy with $5 billion, with her elder brother has only contributed a merely $3.6 billion. Because she's a queen, Queen Elizabeth II has 2 birthdays. The royals sometimes drive their own cars to feel more normal. Prince Charles doesn't squeeze his own toothpaste. Queen Elizabeth II always wears the same nail polish. Princess Diana's wedding dress was a record 25 feet long. Apparently, the royals must weigh themselves before and after Christmas dinner. Queen Elizabeth II worked as a military mechanic. Princess Diana had a passion for ballet. Male royals previously didn't show up to the delivery room. Camilla's title was a gift from Queen Elizabeth II. Kate Middleton was the first royal bride with a college degree. A man married to the Queen doesn't instantly become king. The royals must remain politically neutral. And unlike most royals, Princess Eugenie has a full-fledged career. And that's it. Those are some interesting facts about the royal family. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I thought I would give it a different spin as opposed to just basically narrating and talking about how I do my nails. I thought it'd be fun to read something different. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time. Bye.